Ahoy and welcome back once again to I Like Watches. I've spent the last couple of hours having a goosey gander online at lots of new watch releases, and in this video I'm going to show you what I consider to be the top 10 for January 2024. Anyway, I've got 5 watches on AliExpress and I've got 5 watches from brands that you'll probably recognise, so yeah, let's get into it. Right, I'm going to kick things off with Seiko, and I saw this rather nice looking GMT and I thought, yeah, this one might be worth getting in. It's the SSK023K1, but then I saw they've made this version a white dial version. Look a little bit familiar. Yeah, very nice though, isn't it? And I think this is a JDM version because I've had to go onto the seiko.com/JP website and translate to English to have a look at this SBSC009, and I really do think this looks better than the other two, which yeah, are down here. I think both of these are available in the UK, and I went on to the Francis & Gay website to have a look at this one. But yeah, this one looks lovely, doesn't it? Yeah, really, really nice. NH34. Although, of course, Seiko calls it the 4R34. Under 40 millimeters in diameter, 13.6 millimeters thick. It's unlikely to have sapphire crystal yet. It's got hardlex look. Stainless steel, though. Yeah, it's a nice looking watch. I like it, actually. I do like it. Next up, we've got a couple of Casios. I like the look of this one. Internal rotating bezel. Yeah, I like this. Again, I've had to go on to the Casio.com website to have a look at this. A few different colours available, but I think for me, the pick of the bunch, come on, hurry up, there we go, is the black one. You've got a green one, well, with a sort of green bezel and a blue bezel. But yeah, I think the all black one is nice. Greyish. Sort of grey, isn't it? 44 millimeters in diameter though. Oh man, that's just too big for me. I think it's too big for the watch, to be honest. And 126 grams, so it's gonna feel quite light. 100 meters of water resistance, stainless steel. But yeah, I suspect if I was to get this one in my hands, I'd be a little bit disappointed. And I suspect the same could be said for this one. Is this going to be the next overhyped Casio because it's got that sort of, I don't know, I'm not going to call it the obvious colour that everybody seems to call it. Funnily enough, Casio don't call it that, do they? I wonder why. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, actually. I'm not a fan of it looking at it again. I think there was just a shortage of nice looking new releases by Casio this month, so yeah, I thought I'd show you those two. Let's move on quickly to a Citizen, which does look good, but I wouldn't exactly call this one an affordable Citizen. But look at this. Oh, man. Again, I think it's too big, though. 44 millimeters, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, 44.5 millimeters. Why? Why? Yes, it's an automatic GMT, which is why it's quite pricey. It's a Pro Master as well. It does look really, really good though, doesn't it? I personally just wish it was a little bit smaller. But yeah, I like it. I do like it. Sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance, 22 millimeter lugs, 2 types of magnetic resistance. Nice. Let's move on to the AliExpress watches, and this is the first one by Cadison. $60. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Again, a splash of familiarity with this watch, which I think we expect when we're looking at watches on AliExpress. VD53 movement inside of this watch. Let's have a look at some more pictures, shall we? Butterfly clasp. 42 millimeters in diameter. That's okay. 12 millimeters thick. Nice. Couple of different color options. I like that all black one. That is nice, actually. Yeah, I think that is the pick of the bunch. Stainless steel, 50 meters of water resistance. Yes, it's a quartz movement. Nothing new there, really, is there? Right, let's look at the next new watch, and it is by Proxima. I've actually got a Proxima on its way to me now. One that doesn't appear on the official store on AliExpress. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I'm sure it will appear on the official store on AliExpress. I looked for it, but it's not there at the moment. But these were there, rather colourful watches. Again, a splash of familiarity to these watches, isn't there? But yeah, quite cool. $200. Seagull ST1902 movements. So I think they've modified these actually, because I think normally the 1902 has 3 subdials. So yeah, 1901 has the 2 subdials. 1902 has 3 subdials, I believe. Yeah, there you go. It even says it there. Look, modified. ST1902, 39mm in diameter, 12.4mm thick. Yeah, nice. Next up, we've got Seagull. It's really not my cup of tea, but it's something a little bit out of the ordinary for Seagull, isn't it? And in fact, someone sent me a picture of a Seagull that they'd seen was available, not on the official store. I can't see it on the official store, actually. It's got a sort of retro TV look to it. Yeah, it's the look of this watch has a sort of, well, dial that looks very familiar. It's like the sort of no signal screen that we used to get on our TVs as kids. So yeah, but this one is available on the official store. Yeah, I'm not wild about it, but it's definitely different. Like I said, a couple of color options there. Look, sapphire crystal, 50 meters of water resistance, 42mm in diameter. So I think it's going to wear quite big, sort of square-ish cases, or cases with corners, basically. Always look bigger than their diameter or their dimensions suggest. So if that's 42mm wide, I think it's going to be pretty big, actually. 13mm thick and 22mm lug width. St. Martin have released a new watch with a really interesting dial. Let me show you this dial. I'm sure there's a picture down here where we can have a good close look at it. It's a sort of textured, patterned dial. They've been showing pictures of this dial on Instagram and getting lots of feedback from people, and yeah, it's obviously a very strong sort of calendar themed watch. The Year of the Dragon, look, limited edition. I don't think it's going to be overly popular with people in the West, to be honest. I think, yeah, watches with lots of Chinese text and basically stuff on them isn't going to be overly popular, I don't think, but yeah, I mean, it's it's an indicator of where they're going, isn't it? And their dials are getting better and better, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's interesting. Wow, $316 though for an NH34 GMT from San Martin. I do like the look of it, but yeah, I just don't think it's going to sell in massive numbers. And then we've got this one. This is the last watch I'm showing you today. It's a Seastern GMT. Again, more than a splash of familiarity with this watch. A few colour options available. Look, oh, that's nice. Oh, that is nice. What about that one? No, I like the cream one, actually, although I have reviewed a Seastern before and it had a dial that looked like that, and well, in my hand the colour was actually quite horrible, so I'd be almost reluctant to get this sort of creamy one and end up maybe getting something like this or like that. Maybe I think you can probably trust that colour a little bit more in the pictures. Let's have a look at the specs. 11mm thick, nice stainless steel sapphire crystal, 100 meters of water resistance, NH34 GMT. So yeah, I suspect that would be quite nice, although the Seastern that I had, the finishing on the bracelet and the case wasn't amazing. I don't think they're finished to the same sort of level as San Martin or Sujus, I think it is, which is a sort of sister brand of Seastern, and other brands as well, like Kronos and Heimdallr, Rudland, all those other brands. Boltony, I think they finish watches better than Seastern. $229. It's not an unreasonable sum, and actually I like the dial, the applied indices. Yeah, it looks all right. Right, guys, that is your lot for today. 10 new watch releases, a couple of Seikos, a couple of Casios, a Citizen, and 5 AliExpress watches. Let me know if any of those tickle your fancy. I'm always looking for watches to get in. I can't afford to get them all in, sadly, but yeah, I'll do what I can to get the best ones in. And if you let me know which ones you want in the comments section, I'll do my best to get the most popular ones in as well. Right, guys, as always, massive thanks from me to you for tuning in. I appreciate it.